So we know sometimes police sketches can be kinda accurate, and then sometimes they can be way less accurate. So it'll be interesting to make a little video on 14 serial killers, comparing their sketches to the actual killer. So coming in first, we have Joseph James D'Angelo, who's also known as the Golden State Killer. D'Angelo committed 13 murders with 50 sexual assaults and 120 burglaries across California. He started in 1975 and ended with his arrest in 2018. And what's more shocking was he was a former cop at the time. This is how his sketch looked, and this is how he looked when he got caught. Now obviously back then he probably looked more accurate to the sketch because when they caught him it was 40 something years later, so of course he's going to look much older. It's really hard to tell. I mean, it looks like they got the mouth right. Maybe he had that much hair back then, so this one's hard to judge. Number second, we have Dennis Rader, who's the BTK killer. I did a few videos talking about him. He killed at least 10 people, each time committing the murders by first binding or torturing the victims. This is how his sketch looked, and this is how he looked in person. And this is probably one of the worst police sketches I have ever seen. This was way off. It does not look like him at all. Coming in at number 3, we have Ted Bundy. So you guys know Ted Bundy is one of America's most infamous serial killers, responsible for over 30 sexual assaults, kidnappings, and murders. This is how his sketch looked, and this is how he looks. To me, that does not look that accurate. The facial structures are a little bit off, especially the eyes. The eyes are too big. They kind of have the eyebrows down, but you would have never known it was really him. Coming in fourth, we have Jeffrey Dahmer, and Jeffrey Dahmer, who you guys know as the Milwaukee Cannibal, was convicted on murdering 17 young men. Now this is how his sketch looked, and this is how he looks, and to me, it looks horrible. I don't know who drew the mustache. That mustache is way off. Maybe if they fixed the hair a little bit, they could get it. The face looks too big in the sketch, so this one's definitely a no from me. Not accurate at all. Coming in number 5, we have Richard Ramirez. Richard Ramirez, his sketch is actually a funny one because it doesn't really look like him at all. I mean, they have the same kind of long face, but in the sketch he looks much older. If you guys don't know this killer, he's also known as the Night Stalker. I feel like this sketch would have been a little bit closer, maybe if they made the eyes a little bit smaller and didn't make him look so old, because in the sketch he looks like he's like 40 something years old. Next we have David Berkowitz, who's also known as the Son of Sam. He killed 6 people and terrorized the city of New York for more than a year. He also claimed that his neighbor's dog is the reason why he killed people, because he said the dog was telling him to kill people. This is how his sketch looked, and this is how he looks. Now, clearly they got the hairline wrong because his hairline is way back there. He got a 5 head. The eyebrows actually look pretty accurate. The eyes look kind of accurate if they push it in a little bit more. The nose actually looks pretty good. The nostrils look accurate. And the lips almost. So this one's actually a pretty good sketch. They just have to fix the hair. Number 7, we have Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski is also known as the Unabomber, who conducted a series of bomb attacks over a span of 17 years. It started in 1970s and ended with his arrest in 1996. So this sketch right here is probably one you've seen plastered all over the place during that time. And you can see the real Unabomber, how he looks. Now it's hard to tell because in the sketch he has a hoodie on with glasses. That was the only time someone really had a good view of him. But it looks like they kind of got the facial structures right with the cheeks and the jawbone, but it's hard to tell because in his actual picture he has a beard. So I'm just going to say this one is not that accurate based on him wearing glasses and a hoodie in the sketch. Next we have Richard Chase. Richard Chase earned the nickname Vampire of Sacramento by committing 6 known murders and drinking the blood of each victim. He had a fascination with blood and believed that drinking it, he would absorb nutrients. I guess he never heard of vitamins. Well, this is how his sketch looked, and this is how he looked. Now maybe back then he did have long hair like that with that type of mustache and a little goatee. Maybe if the eyes wasn't so far apart and have a little bit thicker eyebrows, this could have been way more accurate. Coming in at number 9, we have Gary Leon Ridgway, who's also known as the Green River Killer. He murdered at least 49 women from 1982 to 2001. This is how his sketch looked, and then this is how he looks. Now they made his hair look totally crazy. His nose looks extra long in the sketch, and his eyes kind of look far apart, but it kind of does look accurate in a way, and his lips look way too small. Definitely does not look like him at all. Next we have Kenneth Banshee. He was one half of the Hillside Stranglers, who pleaded guilty to 12 murders that were committed in 1977 and 1978. This one actually looks more accurate as far as the face structures and the mustache. The only thing that's different was the hair, but back then he could have had this type of hair, so it makes sense, but the facial structure is actually pretty accurate. Next we have Angelo Buono, who was also the other half of the Hillside Stranglers. This murderous duo would usually lure victims into their car by flashing fake police badges to mislead them. This is how his sketch looked, and this is how he looks. Now you can see again, they have the nose and the facial structures pretty accurate. I'm assuming they had long hair also back then, and the mustache is pretty spot on, so this is really good sketch actually. Next we have Albert Del Salvo. Albert Del Salvo was also known as the Boston Strangler. Strangler and was a convicted rapist who made a jailhouse confession that he was the Boston Strangler that killed 11 women. Now, this is his sketch, and you could see that's way off. His forehead is way too big in that one. The eyes are just off. The eyebrows are horrible. The only thing that looks really accurate is kind of the nose and the mouth. But other than that, though, even the hair looks kind of off. The ears look kind of good. He has, those little Dumbo ears. But other than that, yeah, his big forehead really ruined the accuracy of it. Next, we have Tommy Lynn Sells. So Tommy was convicted and executed for the murder of a 13-year-old girl, but he was also linked to 17 other murders. This is how his sketch looked, and this is how he looked. Now, it kind of looks accurate as far as the beard and everything, even the nose. The eyes look too spread out and far apart for me. Eyebrows are not bushy enough. Maybe his hair did look like that when his hair is combed down or just more messy. Not that accurate though, in my opinion. And then last but not least, we have Eileen Wuornos. Eileen was a rare female serial killer. She was a former sex worker who killed 7 men between 1989 and 1990. Now, as far as I know, she didn't kill because she enjoyed it. She killed because of a trauma in her past life where she was raped, and she just had something against these men. And she claims that the authorities wanted to paint her as a serial killer, but that's not really what she was trying to do. This is her sketch, and this is how she looked. Yeah, this doesn't really look accurate at all. That sketch looks like every other person you would see walking down the street. The facial structures, the cheekbones, the nose, it just looks off. I mean, the only thing that kind of looks accurate is maybe the lips, but that's really it. But let me know in the comments which sketch you think looks the most accurate and which one you think looks the least accurate. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.